One of my favorite films of all time is Mission Impossible Fallout. Mostly because one of my favorite things about movies are scenes that constantly evolve and change. Like the Paris sequence, going from a truck chase, to a motorcycle chase, to a car chase, and plus you have all the stuff with the river in between. And also films like Fargo and Pulp Fiction, both having countless of scenes where there's just things constantly evolving and changing. I've watched a lot of behind the scenes on the bonus disc that comes with the film, and something I really like doing is remaking things, as you can probably tell. Which can be both a good and bad thing. Good because I think it provides a decent enough exercise to practice with composition, and it's getting me out there, it's a good practice, but if I continue to keep doing this again and again and again, keep on just remaking things, I won't really have any originality to my name. Which is exactly what I'm doing in this video. I'm going to try to remake the ending to Mission Impossible Fallout. Will I make it look as good as the original? Definitely not. This film had a budget of $178 million. Had a whole crew, had over a year in production. I'm doing this with a budget of pretty much $20, and I have 4 hours to do it due to weather and lighting conflicts. And I also realized I didn't pack water or food. That was a really stupid mistake on my part. Okay, good news is I'm in the home stretch. Bad news is I gotta carry this all the way up there. So I'm off trail for two reasons. Reason one is I need a lot of space to fly my drone around. This space actually had a lot of open space. There weren't a bunch of like trees crowding the whole area. And I also need a super steep hill. I brought this old Halloween prop with me, wrapped it around blankets through the armholes and leg holes, taped some shoes to it, and stuff the gloves in the armholes, and you know what? I think it looks pretty decent. But the million-dollar question is, will it hold when I throw it off? And of course, the other reason why I'm technically off trail is because I don't want anyone to come by while I'm like trying to tie a rope around this thing that looks like a dead body, and I don't want anyone thinking that I'm trying to like throw a dead body and hang it off the side of a hill or whatever. Because from far away, that's probably what it looked like. I really just want to get this shot out of the way, so it won't just be a thought in my mind. I can physically see it and say, okay, well, this is how it's gonna look like. And also, this is going to be the most time-consuming shot because I have to wrap the rope around it, shuck the body, then retrieve the body, drag it all the way back up there, which is alone going to take 30 minutes. So after a lot of suspense, it was time to finally do this. And this is how it turned out. So for the pros, I love how you can see the arms wave up in the air and how the body falls. I also like how you can clearly see that there's a rope in the face. For the cons, it didn't go as far as I wanted it to, and the legs could look a little more convincing, but I just decided to go with it because if you remember me saying the shot would have taken 30 minutes, it actually took 40 minutes. So if I had to do this again, it would take another 40 minutes, and I just decided, you know what, I need to get all these other shots done first, and if I had time, I could come back to this. Next, I just did a bunch of like group shots with close-ups and me climbing and getting the other jacket on, getting those climbing shots. These shots were, again, very difficult because it's on a steep hill. I don't have a tripod for the GoPro, so I'm using this other tripod that's pretty much broken. So I had to duct tape the GoPro to this very old tripod and set it on the hill so it wouldn't like slide down. And this was super risky because one, I could slip and fall and hurt myself. And it's also risky because there's so many leaves and miscellaneous branches and snow around. If my GoPro like just happened to slip off and get mixed with all that stuff, it could be really hard to find, and it could be really time consuming to try to find it. So thankfully that didn't happen, but that was a big risk at play. After I did that, another scary moment happened because I had to fly the drone. Drones scare me. I just feel like the inevitable downfall of this drone will be it will get lost in the lake, stuck in a tree, or just stop working, like I'll crash it into a road or something. But lucky for me, it did go pretty smoothly except for this right here. And then out of everything that happened to me on that day, the most lucky thing that happened was the sun coming out. Because that means I could get this shot. I was originally just gonna like, try to add some type of light source in the editing, but when the sun came out, I was like, okay, I'm stopping everything I'm doing, I'm getting this shot right now. Then after that, I made the decision to just redo this shot. I knew it was gonna be time consuming, but you know what? I just thought there was a chance I can make it look any better. I wanted to take the risk, so I did it. And this is how it turned out. Yeah, so that was nowhere as good as the first take. and I just wasted another 30 minutes, so that was kind of a big waste of time. But at least I tried. After that, I got some more random shots. Tried going as quickly as possible, which you should never rush film, but you know what? I mean, there was a time limit. So I packed up all my stuff in that bin, carried it all the way back to the parking lot, which was a huge pain in the ass, but you know what? I got a workout in, so I guess it wasn't that big of a deal. But I still had one big fear, and that was, will this flow naturally in the editing process? So when I got home, the first thing I did was load all my stuff and try to clean it off because it was covered in dirt and snow. After that, then I plugged in the memory card to the computer, try to see if this was actually going to flow neatly or not. Once all my footage was on the computer, I went into something called the zone. I completely lost concept of time. By the time I finished this, it was already 5 in the morning. And I was like, wow, okay. I did around like midnight, I had to take the green screen out, do a couple, like recreate some shots a little bit just because I didn't really like the way it turned out. I did some masking on some shots. I did a lot of color correction, trying to make the beginning look a little very desaturated, and then once the sun comes out, it's very saturated and colorful and feels warm and not so cold and disgusting like the beginning half, because the beginning half shouldn't make the viewer feel stressful and all that type of stuff. And once I did all that, I was pretty much done. And I'll let you decide if you think it flows good or if the pacing's bad or good or whatever. You can make that decision by just going in the description, clicking the link, and you can see how it all turned out. Hope you all enjoyed, and thanks for watching. Bye.